Professor Sutton, I want to go back to something you said on the 13th of May. It relates to the Cedar Meats closure. On the 13th of May, you said if you'd known about the Cedar Meats infections, you would have shut them down sooner. And it really became apparent about the 27th, 28th of April, and they were shut down by you on around the 29th of April. I'm just curious, when you said you'd shut them down if you'd known, that on the 22nd of April, so a week earlier, there were a number of half a dozen or so Cedar Meats workers that were identified as being COVID positive, and they were put into hotel quarantine at the Ridges, and they were there for a week before Cedar Meats was actually shut down. Can you explain the discrepancy? Because clearly they were known as positive cases. Ridges at that time was used for returning travellers basically only, and this was a cluster of workers from Cedar Meats, but it took a week to shut them down.
My recollection is there were only a few cases when that was raised with me, the shutting down of Cedar Meats, and I gave my advice at that time to shut it down completely. So that's my recollection.
But how was there seven workers actually identified from Cedar Meats and put into Ridges under the say-so of your department or your Deputy Chief Health Officer at that time? And I've got a copy of the documentation they had, isolation, diagnosis, directions number 2, and a whole lot of paperwork that was incoming. I've spoken to the security firm who was operating Ridges at that time. This is a week before you took the action to shut down Cedar Meats, and you knew there were 7 workers at Cedar Meats who were moved from their homes to Ridges. So why did it take so long to shut down Cedar Meats?
No, I'm saying I shut down Cedar Meats as soon as I was aware of those cases.
But Annalise Van Diemen made this direction for these 7 workers to leave their homes and go to Ridges, and she's your deputy. How does the one hand not talk to the other hand?
I'll have to come back to you on exactly what you're referring to, because I haven't got that information in front of me.
It's all in the documentation that's before the inquiry.
Yeah, and I'm happy to look at it.